Good morning, my YouTube viewers. It is Palestine here. Welcome to my channel. I decided to make my video in the kitchen this morning because when I make the video in the bedroom, I just don't like the way my body appears when I make the video in the bedroom. I can't do anything about my body. That's just the way it's natural degeneration. So, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to update you on the status of my mother because she's still in the ICU in a hospital in Little Rock. And basically what happened was because my family isn't communicating with me, the only person that is communicating with me is my sister. And so my mother's friend, she went to the hospital to see her, and apparently, at first, apparently my mom opened her eyes a little. And then when she opened her eyes a little, I think the doctor came in, and I think the doctor said, well, what is your name? I think they were asking her what her name is. And I think she was able to mouth her name. I don't know if she has this feeding tube in her all the time, or if she just has the feeding tube in her during meal times. I'm not sure exactly what's going on because I'm not told. But anyway, so she did open her eyes, and so my mother's friend was really happy that she did open her eyes, and she was really happy that she did open her eyes, and basically what happened was, excuse me, somebody just came in my front door, that's why I'm a bit flustered, and what happened was, they ran some tests on her. They said that her brain is okay. So they're saying her brain is okay. But they said it was her kidneys. The reason why she was having, and she was also twitching. And the reason why she was twitching and having all these problems was because her kidneys need to be cleared. And before she had this accident, I know that she had a chronic kidney infection that would not clear. And so basically what happened was, I think they gave her the antibiotics, and the antibiotics did not clear the infection. So I'm not sure if the antibiotics ever cleared the infection. So yesterday, when they said that the reason why she was twitching and she was having these problems was because her kidneys need to be cleared, that didn't surprise me because I knew she had a kidney infection that wouldn't clear, and whether or not it's cleared up, I don't know. And then my brother went, and then so my mother's friend, she decided that she was going to work on her phone and her book while my mother was in ICU. So she stayed there working on her phone. I know that my mother's friend has her own IT business. It's called Personalized Computers or something. And then so she has clients, and she goes in to their premises or their home, and she sets up computers for them. I mean, I don't have anybody to set up a computer for me. I just have to do it all myself and hope for the best, you know. But apparently she was able to work on her phone. What she was doing on her phone, I don't know. But she was able to work on her phone. And then later on, apparently, my brother went to visit my mother. Well, by this time, my mother went to sleep again. And so my mother very briefly opened her eyes for my mother's friend. She very briefly opened her eyes for the doctors. And apparently they were singing Christian music because my mother really likes Christian music, and she really gets excited when she can sing these certain songs. So believe me, that's not the mother I grew up with. The mother I grew up with was working as a hairdresser, and she had her friends who preferred the company of women. And when she finished work, she would go out clubbing. And the mother I grew up with, I hardly ever saw because I wasn't old enough to go to a bar. And so, but now, because my mother knows, 20 years ago, she knew she was going to die at some point. So 20 years ago, she started going to church with my stepdad, because my stepdad was going to this church called Crystal Hill Baptist Church, and they even had a Bible study program. And in this Bible study program, what my stepdad did was they had like these CDs, and you would put the CDs in the CD player, and you would watch a lesson on the Bible. And you had to go to this Bible study class for like 2 or 3 years. So you had 2 or 3 years worth of CDs where you had to, and you had exercises to do as well. And you had to watch the CD and go through the exercises. And it could have been 3 years. It was a 3-year program. But when you finished the 3-year program, you could get an associate's degree, because in America, you can get an associate's degree, which is a 2-year degree. And my mom actually even did that 3-year program, but I don't think that she ever went and got her associate's degree. But I thought that was a great thing to do. Like, all you have to do is sit and go to a Bible study for 3 years and watch this video for 3 years and do all the coursework, which is not that difficult. And then at the end of the 3-year Bible study course, you get an associate degree. I thought that was a pretty good deal for somebody who's not very educated, who didn't have the money to do a course. Yeah. Get an associate's degree in Bible study. And so my mama has changed completely. The woman in that hospital bed today is not the woman that raised me. The woman that raised me wouldn't go to church because she said people were talking about her. The woman that raised me wouldn't fix dinner. The woman that raised me wanted to go out with all her girlfriends and go to bars. And she liked to go to Cajun's Wharf and have Pillam and Edam shrimp. Because I remember her saying that she wanted to go to Cajun's Wharf and have Pillam and Edam shrimp. And then so she's over there singing these Christian songs with her friend. I'm like, what's going on here? And then then at some point, my brother went in to visit my mother. And by this time, she was asleep again, and he couldn't wake her up. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how they tried to wake her up, but she wouldn't wake up. And this time, the doctors are saying her kidneys are okay. So in the morning, the doctors were saying that the reason why she was twitching was because her kidneys need to be cleared. And in the afternoon, the doctors were saying the kidneys were okay. So I'm not sure what's going on there. One doctor says the kidneys need to be cleaned. The other doctor says the kidneys are okay. But then, so my brother sends these messages to my sister because he doesn't want to communicate with me. And he said he went to see his sweet mama. And then at the end of the text message, he said he's going to pray for his precious mother. I'm like, what? What's going on here? I said, were we raised by the same woman? My mother is not any sweet mama. I was afraid of my mother. My mother was horrible to me. I just couldn't believe it. I just absolutely couldn't believe that he sent this message saying he's going to see his sweet mama and he's going to pray for his precious mother. I'm like, he must have Stockholm syndrome. But my mother always treated my brother better than she treated my sister and me. And when we were children, living in this little 2-bedroom trailer in Little Rock, I'm not going to say the name of the street because the trailer may still be there for all I know. There wasn't not enough places to sleep, so he slept in the same bed with my mother because there was no place to sleep. It wasn't anything sinister or anything like that. There was not any other place to sleep. So I guess he was always a lot closer to my mother than my sister and I were because he was older. He spent more time with her. He was a boy. And I just couldn't believe it. I saw that text message and I just thought, were we raised by the same woman? The woman that raised me wasn't sweet, and the woman that raised me wasn't precious. So basically, I've got somebody that's coming to my house, my friend. So he's sitting in my bedroom talking to my boyfriend. He said that he's brought us some samosas. So I guess that I had better close this video. I told him that I was going to be making a video, and he said that he was going to call me. And I said, well, no, don't phone me because I'm going to be making a video on my phone. So if he tries to phone me, I won't be able to pick up the phone because I'm making a video. But I did tell him to phone, and he didn't phone. He just came right over because he said that he was going to wait at the temple for them to make the samosas. So I don't know what happened, but he came right away. So I think I've updated you on the status of my mother. My mother woke up briefly yesterday. She was able to open her eyes. When they asked her what her name was, she was able to mouth her name. I'm thinking they asked her what her name was, not the name of the doctor. But I wouldn't know the name of the doctor if I was had a neck operation with a ventilator and sedated and then given drugs and everything. I wouldn't know the doctor's name. I would be saying, oh, who are you? And also, they're saying that my mother's not on any pain medication, but I think they are giving her something to relax her, even though she's not on any pain medication. And so she's doing okay. You know what they say? I had this Iranian boyfriend one time, and I can't really talk about that too much. I'd like to, because that's to do with my past. But one time he said to me, nothing ever happens to bad people. And then my sister said, because, I'm all worried about my mother. And my sister says, she's going to be okay. She doesn't want to die. She's hanging on to life. She's going to be okay. And I suppose that, she's going to have to be, when she does die, she's going to have to be held accountable for all the things that she did to me and all the things that she did to my sister. And my brother may have a bit of Stockholm syndrome, saying that my sweet mama and my precious mother, that me and my sister and I know that is not the facts. That's not true. Our mother wasn't sweet and she wasn't precious. And that's just him having a bit of Stockholm syndrome. And another thing that I wanted to point out is because what I've read in news articles and seen on YouTube videos, because they have a nurse on YouTube video talking about the end of life. And it said that when people come to the end of life, they sleep a lot. So they spend a lot of time sleeping. And that's what my mother's doing. She's sleeping. And then, in addition to that, they don't eat. So, I don't know. I know that my mother can't eat. She can't swallow. I know that they're feeding her through a feeding tube. And I hope they're not overfeeding her, because my mom, my stepdad, and two of my mother's friends overfeed her. And that's one of the problems that has caused this. bleed on the brain that caused her to fall and break her neck and caused her to be in ICU. So I think I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. I've talked about everything that I can talk about with regard to my mother's hospital stay and the visit that she had with her friend where they were singing Christian music. Another time they were all singing Amazing Grace. They were in that hospital room singing Amazing Grace, and apparently my mom was lipping to it. But this was a few days ago. This wasn't yesterday. Yesterday she was singing to another song. But I do remember they were singing Amazing Grace. I can't remember the words to Amazing Grace, but they were singing that. And she was mouthing to the mouth, or they said she was mouthing to it. But now she's gone back to sleep. So the only thing I know is what I've read in articles and seen in YouTube videos, that at the end of life they sleep a lot and they don't eat. So I don't know if this is the end for my mother or not. We'll just have to wait and see. And I'll keep you updated on the status of my mother's health. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. And it means a lot to me that you take an interest in my very pathetic life.